people struggling to survive under their leadership.
I want to warn African presidents to stop thinking of themselves as bigger than the people. I want to warn the African presidents. They must look at history as to what has happened to some of the African dictators in the past who think that by becoming a leader, you are actually the most powerful. You can never be more powerful than the people.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
as you are growing now, in this century that we're growing in, if you don't take my advice seriously, we are going to find your head hanging somewhere else. Because the youth we are now leading are not interested in the politicking and always, sorry for the language, wiping the feet of the white man. We are now dealing with proper justice systems. We would want to see that our dignity is restored and we are respected as individuals and as human beings. We cannot be in a continent which has the greatest amount of resources and yet we are the poorest. I mean, I was in Nigeria the other day and I watched this pipe with a sticker on it, British Petroleum.
British in Nigeria.
Driving through the Delta with villages on the left and on the right of abject poverty.
Yeah.
And this pipe, it's not a pipe, it's a pipe, this huge pipe, it's pulling oil,
It's oil.
out of Nigeria, even written British Petroleum, going to fuel the streets of London, and where the resources are being found, those people are living in poverty.
There's indigenousness in there. Now, Bishop, here's the thing which is very interesting. Now, I want to take it as you were looking at rebooting the system, the software rather, of Africans. Now, in the midst of such issues, political unrest, you've got these issues whereby we're struggling in many ways. What should be our thinking? How should we channel our mindsets?
The first bus stop, which we need to talk about, I know it sounds like a long road, but I'm not here to be planting vegetables because I want us to harvest fruits. He who plants vegetables will never eat a fruit salad. The first bus stop, which I want to make a challenge to all African governments, you need to destroy the Western curriculum of education. Stop teaching our people stupid little poems of Europeans and William Shakespeare. Stop teaching our children useless curriculum of how many legs does a grasshopper have. We need to start having correct education of how do we emancipate ourselves, how do we harvest indigenous knowledge system, and teach us a correct historical background. With that knowledge system, it must filter into our entertainment so that we can put the correct role models in the minds of our children. A good role model is not driving a Porsche Cayenne, and a good role model is the one who has built up a community. Hence, many of our educated people, immediately when they get educated, they subtract themselves from their own communities and they go and live in the white suburbs. Why in the white suburbs? Because black people don't understand them. Black people, they can no longer relate with them. Black people will not help them to enjoy their wealth. So what is education? As we have it right now, education is a passport to walk away from African culture into European culture. Then you find all these educated guys with small little stupid bow ties coming up for some dinners, bottles of champagne in their hands, and the couture and the crockeries of Western civilization are the dream of every African. Maybe I've reached it now. I've reached the level to be accepted. So how do you greet the queen? How do you shake hands with it? How do you sit? How do you talk? How do you what? My foot. These are cosmetics of African culture. We cannot be teaching our children to become plastics in a civilization that is so heavy. And Africans needed to put their feet on the ground and establish their own personhood.
Before we go to a very short break, Bishop, I just want to know this. Does the political engagement of ethnic